Do you want to start in the game and don't know very well what to do? As with other survival titles, it can be very confusing at the beginning. What are the first steps? What should I get? Is there anything important that I must take into consideration? Here are 20 Valheim tips and tricks for newcomers. Valheim's best tips and tricks to start playing. There are 2 ways to enjoy the beginning of Valheim. Whether you arrive from scratch, without knowing any information and thus discover the world and its possibilities for yourself. In that case, obviously, stop reading. There is a certain pleasure and romanticism in opting for that path, but keep in mind that the game will be very sparse in some matters and it will be somewhat complex to understand absolutely everything. On the other hand, you can take into account these 20 tips that we have selected and that will help you get off to a good start. It is possible to die for the trees that fall when you cut them down, so be careful. You won't be the only player who ends his life this way. You can divide the objects in your inventory, in case you don't want to use or move stacks completely. Simply press Shift and then click on the group you want. Watch out for swimming. It is possible to swim in Valheim and thus cross the aquatic spaces you find, but you will spend endurance and if it reaches 0 you will start to run out of life until you die. Don't get into the water if you're not sure you can get to the other shore. To improve your skills, use them. There is no other way in Valheim. Do you want to improve your endurance by running? Run. Do you want to improve your jump? Jump. If you want to remove the HUD from the game to take screenshots or have a better dive, press Ctrl plus F3. The flint is one of Valheim's most important objects. You will need it, especially at the beginning, to build the best weapons and armor. To find it, look on the shores of lakes and large agglomerations of water. Try to craft a shield as soon as possible. It is very useful against enemies, especially when you are surrounded. Learn how to make counterattacks. The parry will be one of your best friends in Valheim. Fleeing is not cowardly. Sometimes you will find powerful enemies and it is best to run. You can sheath your weapon in Valheim and carry it on your back by pressing the R key. At first focus on getting wood and stones, very easy to locate. They will allow you to craft the initial tools and objects. It is extremely important to use the map and mark the areas of interest with the available icons. Mark your home to know how to return, the ruins and places you find. Essential: build a bed and a bonfire to create a resurface zone. If you ever die, you can reappear right there if you have slept in bed. Otherwise you will reappear at the starting point where you started playing. There is no repair cost in Valheim, so it is essential that you take your tools and weapons and take them to the hammer object on the work table whenever you can. If you explore the map you will see a lot of old buildings. Take advantage of them and their resources. Equip the hammer and press the middle mouse button to destroy those constructions and take the resources. Fishing rods exist in Valheim but they can't be crafted. You're going to have to find a merchant to buy it. The merchants are in the Black Forests. If you want to increase the maximum weight that you can carry in Valheim you will need to buy the Medging Jord item from a merchant for 950 gold coins. You will go from having 300 to 450 maximum weight. In order to have a peak in Valheim you will have to defeat the first boss, Ichthid, since you will have to use some special resources. Don't forget to be prepared for this confrontation with leather armor, a shield, an axe or knife. In order to summon this leader you will need 2 deer heads that you will place on his altar of sacrifice. If you play alone, here you have all the Valheim cheat codes that you can enter in its command console. A lot of traps, functions and features that you can use whenever you want, although it is not the way the game is planned, of course. We hope that these tips from Valheim will allow you to advance in the game and start in the best possible way. Practice and play, because little by little you will understand everything you need to progress.